Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Got some updates. So Nicole State has deleted her Instagram, which is a fantastic thing. She really needs to just be off the internet for good. So she deleted her Instagram. Unfortunately, she was active last night on the Nicole the Snake State Reddit forum. I'll link that down below if you're not a member. I did end up banning her from that forum. I'm a moderator there because she just doesn't need to be on there. She just doesn't need to be on the internet right now. She needs to focus on getting better. And she was really pissing me off with the shit she was saying on there. Like this. Watch my previous 2 videos if you want to be caught up. Please go watch those. Don't just come on this video and comment. My previous videos, I got people just coming on the videos and commenting without knowing the backstory. Once again, if you're going to defend her in any way, shape, or form, you are automatically blocked. I'm done. The long story short, Nicole went on Instagram claiming that she was going to commit S-word, and I ended up calling the cops to do a welfare check on her. I just want to clarify, I did not call 911. I called the non-emergency number. And I also called the next morning because, hello, time zone difference. I saw like the first story like as I was falling asleep because I got so many fucking messages from you guys saying, hey, check this out. But I didn't watch the entire stories until the morning because she was like, oh, well, you called the next morning and I'll read you the comment in a second. So that's what happened. There's a time zone difference. I usually go to bed fairly early. I was like half asleep. I saw part of the first story and I fucking fell asleep and I saw the rest in the morning. Somebody posted something on Reddit and they're like, who called the cops on Nicole? Like, you shouldn't have done that. You're wasting resources, because from the way Nicole was talking in her Instagram story, it made it sound like somebody just called the cops on her just to fuck with her. She conveniently failed to leave out that it was a wellness check, and she twisted the whole fucking narrative of that to make herself out to be a victim. Again, as always, per usual. Again, watch those other videos. So I commented on the post and I said, I called. It was a welfare check. She went on Instagram last night claiming that offing herself was the only option and I would be happy if she did. I don't play games like that. But now it's quite obvious she's mental but sound enough to say something like that for sympathy and then get mad when something is done about it. Fuck her. The officer told me he would be able to give her tons of resources to get help. So once again, her turning around and getting mad speaks volumes. And she replied back to this because, let me just remind you guys, in her Instagram story, she was like, who called the cops? Like, who did it? I don't know who did it. I didn't tell the officer my name. Like, obviously, he's got my phone number. He can look up my name, obviously, but he's not going to correlate me with Vad is rad. Like, it's not, no. This officer was older. He said, I don't have any social media. I don't really go on the internet. He's like, can you explain to me what she does? So I had to explain to him. I didn't tell him, hey, I make videos about her. I called him as a concerned person. I put all that fucking shit aside. And honestly, fuck anyone that says differently. Fuck anyone that says, oh, you just called for clout. You just called to make yourself look good. Fuck you. So yeah, so this officer had no idea who I was. I was calling him as a concerned person about her. He took it as me being like a fan of her and, you know, I was concerned about her, not a fan of her. Yes, I was concerned about her though. She did not know it was me that called until I said it on Instagram, until after she made her Instagram story about that. Keep that in mind. So she said, yeah, he also called you someone who sits in a dark basement and hates on people all day. So maybe don't lie about everything you said when you called. No, he fucking didn't. No, he didn't. Because once again, he did not know who I was. He did not know who I was when I talked to him the first time before he even saw Nicole. And he did not know who I was when he called me the second time after he talked to Nicole, because Nicole didn't know that it was me that called. So this is a fucking crazy ass lie. The only thing I can think of is she's twisting it around because he did say that she mentioned that she gets people on the internet talking shit about her. Of course, once again, playing the victim, not telling them the truth, not telling them that, you know, we're outing your scams, not just talking shit, we're outing your scams. So that's the only thing I can think of. She like twisted that around. Once she said that to make her feel better, he was probably like, oh yeah, you know, there are people sitting in the dark basement or whatever. And he wasn't referring to me specifically. He didn't know that I called. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing I can think of how she fucking twisted that, which is clever. Good job. She said, here's the deal. You called because you wanted to make a video saying, I care. You didn't call last night. You waited until I was active on Instagram explaining that you released the private posts talking about my children. I made 3 posts, none of them saying anything about blank, her son. You went too far. Oh, 2 should have 2 O's after it. I wouldn't expect you to know proper grammar. So you called while I was having a yard sale, hoping someone would get it on video, because guess what? That's how you pay your bills. You fucking dumb bitch. My husband pays all the bills. You wouldn't know what that's like, would you? would you? She loves to say like, oh, I pay her bills. The money I make from YouTube, we don't rely on this to pay her bills. No, you don't pay my bills. You fucking loser. You don't. You can't even pay your own bills. Take that fake caring somewhere else, weirdo. Obviously, it's not gonna fit her narrative for her to admit that I called because I cared. So she's gonna spin it into being like, oh no, she just wanted to make videos about it and da 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 da. And I know that there are some dumbasses out there that also think that. That's fine, you can think that. I'm not gonna try to convince people. There's no point in trying to convince people that don't like you to like you, or to realize that they're not the fucking demon that you think they are. So yeah, that's crazy for her to say, oh, you waited till I had a yard sale because you wanted someone to get it on video. Do you know how many people contacted me that said, hey, I live near her, or hey, I have a friend that lives near her and you know, they're thinking about going. Do you want me to see if they can get pictures or videos? And I said, no, no, no. I would have called regardless if you were having your pathetic little yard sale, okay? You just happened to be having a yard sale when I called the next morning after the night you decided to throw around the S word for fucking sympathy. If you legit felt that way and, you know, we're in a crisis, then you would appreciate the call. The officer said you appreciated the call because he said you acted completely different. And you know what? You know what? We're getting that body cam footage. We are. Like, what's the act? Is the act in front of the officer? Was she just saying, oh yeah, I really appreciate it, and then she turns around and gets pissed off on Instagram? Like, what's the act? Or was the video on Instagram an act? Like, what part is the act? But don't worry, we'll get the body cam footage and I will absolutely share it with you guys. There's something called the Freedom of Information Act, and I'm able to get that body cam footage, so stay tuned for that. I was gonna read some more comments in this video of people that still support her, but we'll save that for another video. That's gonna be it for today's video. As always, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. But once again, if you're gonna defend Nicole, don't bother commenting unless you wanna get blocked. I don't fucking care. I don't care. Like, I usually don't block people. I will usually leave comments up. I don't want that shit on my channel. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. The simple solution is just to delete it and block your ass. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys in my next video.